So what's going on YouTube? Back with another video, man. Yes, I know it's a little bit different. I know you guys see my green screen behind me, man. My laptop been on some extra shit this morning. Um, First video actually ran really well. This video, I don't know what the fuck going on. So I'm doing everything from my phone, but that's that's what we do. So shout out to everybody that's gonna tune into this, man. I know it's not football related, but this is something that I was just sitting there talking about, man. And this shit was crazy. I was thinking about the 90's R&B groups. You know what I mean? The old school groups, the groups that we grew up on, the groups that we love today. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have R&B today, people. We just don't. R&B today doesn't exist. All we have is rap and hip hop, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, man, we ain't got no more R&B. We don't have no real, true R&B singers. We don't have any Anita Baker. We don't have any Patti LaBelle. We don't have any Mary J. We don't have any Keisha Coles. Um, you know what I'm saying? All of these things. But I'm going to focus specifically on groups and guys that were just along for the ride. Because you have to think about it. Every group had some guys that were literally just there. They harmonized very well, or they did certain things. They were never the front person for the group. You never really saw them like that. So that being said, man, let's talk about it. We had a lot of R&B groups in the 90's that were awesome, but this is about who existed and who didn't. We're talking about people who were in groups that had three or more people, and some people were just along for the ride, just noticing some members in the group literally just dance and harmonize, no solos, nothing. Taking this list from the internet of top groups. Now let's start with one of the biggest selling groups of all time. This group was discovered by Michael Bivins, Boys to Men. We all love Boys to Men. Literally at my sixth grade graduation, we had to sing End of the Road. We had to memorize that song and sing it. Why? Because that was the song they elected us to sing. That song was written by Babyface. But hey, Boys to Men sang the hell out of that motherfucker. The Boys to Men consisted of Nathan Wan, Nathan aka Wanye, Sean, but Boys to Men, Nathan, Wanye, and Sean all saying, but Michael just harmonized. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Mandy Shavers? Yes, 90s R&B was the shit. But Michael just harmonized. Let's just keep it a buck. God rest his soul. Love what he did, man. But you never seen him in a solo. The only time he got a solo was when he was talking. And that's because his voice was deep as fuck. So, they catch you in that moment. And that's how they would get to ladies. Hey, ladies, how's it going? I'm Michael. Blah blah blah, so on and so forth. But Boys to Men had Wanye, Sean, and Nathan. All of them got solos. All of them sang. Wanye was probably the one who got the most solos because he was the lead singer. But Sean and Nathan still held their own, and they could blow. But they knew that Michael just brought that tall, dark, and handsome vibe to the group, and he brought that deep voice that just lulled the women in and brought them in slowly. So Michael contributed, but if you're talking about from a singing standpoint, yeah, Mike was along for the ride. God rest his soul. No disrespect to him or his family. But yeah, Mike was he was that extra dude. Now this next group, everyone is gonna know who I'm talking about as far as who was technically along for the ride. But at the same time, these dudes were flat out amazing. One of my favorite R&B groups of all time. I'm talking about Jodeci. I'm talking about KC, JoJo, Dalvin, and Devontae. Now, we all know and understand this. KC and JoJo did 98% of the singing. You never saw Dalvin, you never saw Devontae have a solo. But what I can tell you is Devontae's contributions were unmatched. That man held it down, and he held it down in ways you cannot imagine. Like Devontae literally was the glue that held everything together. He was the songwriter, he was the producer, he did everything. So Devontae had a hell of a contribution to everything that Jodeci did. We all know that the lead singers were all Casey and JoJo, more so probably Casey here and there. And I know they've been touring lately and doing things, so shout out to them for getting back on that road and doing some things and making things happen. But I'm just gonna say this, Dalvin, you were along for the ride. You were you were Devontae's brother, and hell, you look good, so you brought in the ladies. I mean, look, I'm not gonna say that Dalvin can't sing. I don't know the man, nothing against him personally. But what I will tell you is, Dalvin, seriously, bro, it's definitely a hard sell. What's going on, Charles? Yeah, definitely great to be around in this time. But Dalvin was along for the ride. Casey and JoJo did the singing. They did all the stuff they needed to do. Devontae was over there doing the producing and everything like that, writing the songs, all that shit. We all know about Devontae, and Devontae's pen is unmatched. Like that dude is a monster. But to be honest with you, Dalvin was just along for the ride. And once again, no disrespect to him, but he was along for the ride. He brought in the women because he was a fly guy, and he harmonized well. That's how it happened. Period. And the crazy thing is, Casey and Dalvin had a fight to get in the group because Devontae didn't want Dalvin in the group, and then I forget who it was who didn't want KC. But if you want to look for more information on that, just go watch R&B Money podcast with KC from Josie, and he will tell you. The next group up on the list, man, and don't get me wrong, Jodeci hit after hit after hit. Same with Boys to Men, continuous hits year in and year out, just out there belting out these ballads, these up tempos, everything, man. And Jodeci, bro, they can make a new album. I'll go buy that shit right now because I already know it's gonna be fire. You know what I'm saying? Um, so next group on the list, 112. 112, we all know Slim was the lead singer of this group. Quintus did his thing too, but the other two members were just there for the ride and harmonizing and dancing. You know what I mean? Um, Michael and Darren just didn't do much. It was more so about Slim. That's who that group was really about. The other three dudes kind of pretty much were along for the ride. You know what I'm saying? You had your moments, you had your guys, and they did some things here and there, but mainly it was all about Slim. And Slim had a very unique voice. You know what I'm saying? It was different, to say the least. One of the guys I think about that I could kind of compare Slim to a little bit is Keith Sweat. Keith Sweat, I look, I know Keith Sweat made hits. I know Keith Sweat's pen was awesome, but Keith Sweat can't really sing. I'm sorry. I love what Keith Sweat does. I love the music, but I'm sorry. When I just listened to him and actually tried to hear it, he can't sing. He, I, I don't. I know a lot of people in the R&B community are going to kill me for that and tell me how wrong I am. At the end of the day, when you listen to a voice, Keith Sweat just really can't sing. I'm sorry, it's just not my thing. You know what I'm saying? Great hits, great music, but just wasn't the guy. So next group on the list, Drew motherfucking Hill. We all know about Drew Hill now. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? Tell me what you want. All that, man. Cisco, obviously the guy that had to go solo. You know what I'm saying? You knew he was going to go solo. That's just how it worked. You know what I'm saying? The other members of the group was a powerhouse group. All four men sang in the group, which consisted of Cisco, Nokia, Jazz, and Woody. Cisco and Jazz did most of the singing, and Jazz was the big dude, if you don't remember who it is. Um, Drew Hill, exactly. See, Charles, you following along with your boy, Drew Hill, man. And the other two, honestly, were just along for the ride. I think Woody was the first to lead the group. I think he wound up kind of like, finding God and just saying, I want to do this music shit. And that's the sad part about a lot of R&B groups is the R&B groups will break up randomly. It'll be money. It'll be I don't get enough solos. It'll be I don't like where my money is at. It'll be I just don't want to do this shit no more. There's a variety of reasons that these R&B groups break up, but they do. And when they, oh yeah, 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 man. And these groups that I'm talking about are hit makers. They didn't have like one song and they were gone. Like I'm talking about serious fucking hit makers, like real guys out there doing the damn thing. making it happen. It was beautiful. It was fantastic. So once again, man, Drew Hill, Cisco was the only one who had a career. Jazz, what's going on? Hey, hi, nice to see you. He said Nokia did production as well. Love Drew Hill. Woody Wood sing. He also had a solo on one of them albums. Yeah, but the thing is, he didn't really have a lot. He didn't have a lot. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying like it. I'm speaking more to the fact of who really did the work. And to be honest with you, it was Jazz, it was Cisco. Those two hands down carried that group. They did everything. And you know what I'm saying? If that's what if Nokia did the production, hey shit, that's where the money at, baby. You know what I'm saying? You gonna get your bread doing the producing. But if you're looking at the group as a whole, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, you gotta take a look at it. Woody and Nokia kind of along for the ride there. Now I did go to another group, and this group I love them, man. They were great. They were awesome. They're still awesome. Jagged Edge. We all know who Jagged Edge is now. You know what I'm saying? This group, everyone sang. Everyone. You know what I'm saying? But mainly the majority of the singing came from the twins, Brian and Brandon. You know what I'm saying? Richard had few solos as well. You know what I'm saying? But Kyle was pretty much along for the ride. Oh yeah, I got it. Oh my God, I gotta be the one you know. Mm. Yeah, but, man, don't get me started on these songs, bro. These hit after hit after hit after hit. You know what I'm saying? The remix, Let's Get Married, smash. Drew Hill had so many. I mean, Jagged Edge had so many hits. You know, but to be honest with you, Brian and Brandon were the main ones singing 90% of the time. They were the lead singers. They were the guys you could put in front of the crowd. They were the ones that drew in the ladies and whatnot. And don't get me wrong, it's not to say that these other dudes couldn't do that. But what I will tell you is labels market who they want to market. And that's why the twins were always up front. Not to say that any of the other guys didn't contribute. Everybody did their job. Everybody did what they were supposed to do. The harmonizing was on point. But you know what I'm saying? Kyle was along for the ride. And this is what this is about. People who were along for the ride. They didn't really they contributed, but these weren't the dudes you remember when you speak about the groups. You know what I'm saying? So none but love to Jagged Edge. All of the members, they did a great job. They were fantastic. Hopefully they're still out there working, doing their thing. Fantastic work to all of them. But honestly, that's basically what it was, man. Jagged Edge had four members, two main singers, Brian and Brandon. And we're gonna move on to another group that had it, and they were flat out amazing. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I love this group. Uh, they did, you know, they had a short stint, but still made a great impact, man. Is next, man. You know what I'm saying? RL, Tweety, T-Lo. We all know RL was the lead man. He was the main lead singer. You know it. RL was the dude. You know what I'm saying? T-Lo did some of the singing too. Tweety was just along for the ride. You never caught that man in a solo. Tweety was a handsome dude. He looked good. He brought in the women, and he could harmonize very well, and he could dance. So it's like, hey, you bring something to the group, but technically speaking, Tweety, you were along for the ride, bro. It is what it is. We all know the truth of this. We not gonna sit here and lie about it, okay? Everybody got to understand. At the end of the day, Tweety was there just to be Tweety. He was not there to do much more than that. Period. Point blank. You gotta love Tweety. You know what I'm saying? Because he was in the group, and I'm pretty sure that there were those groups back in the day had core fan bases, and the beauty of it is everybody had their favorites. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'll skip forward into the 2000s with B2K. Do you know that B2K's first album, they relaunched that album and did solo covers of each individual member? You know who sold the most? The man who gets the most flack to this day, Raz B. Not Omarion, not Fizz, not J Bug. Raz B had the most sales of that individual album cover. I'm just saying, it tells you who the ladies thought was the best. But either way, man, we're gonna stick in the 90s. So you see these groups and you know that they are just flat out fan fucking tastic. Um, Shy. The very first time that I saw your right eye, your lips said hello, and I said hi. Oh, bro, Shy, bro, do it a damn thing. Another 90 R&B group, Silk. What? You don't know about Silk. You've been sleeping under a rock. You need to go ahead and punch yourself in the face and wake the fuck up. I am it's Silk. One ooh, Silk boy. But see, you put Silk on when it's time to get nasty. You don't put Silk on just to put Silk on. Okay? You put Silk on when it's time to get freaky with you. Baby, don't you understand? I wanna be. I mean, but come on now. Like now I'm not gonna go into why these dudes were along for the ride. But I am gonna tell you this. Silk, bruh, just hits. Continue hit. Just break me. Oh, bro. That song was flat out amazing. You gotta love it, man. It just that's what it was. So you had Timothy Cameron, Jimmy Gates, Gary Glenn, Gary Jenkins, and Jonathan Rasborough. You know what I'm saying? There's a meeting in my bedroom. And then you heard each one, bedroom, bedroom. Like it just, mm, that's what it was. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this about this next group. I love this group, but I can't listen to Knocking the Boots. Y'all know who the fuck I'm talking about. It's H Town. And you know why I can't listen to Knocking the Boots? Because that was my parents' song. My mama and my daddy. Whenever I heard Knocking the Boots, I left. I left the house. We've all been traumatized by accidentally hearing our parents doing some things that, you know, doing things. Because that's how the fuck we got here, damn it. Okay? I loved H Town, man. Oh my gosh, I loved H Town. But I can't. If I hear Knocking the Boots, I gotta change the station. I can't listen. I don't want to hear it. I don't think about that. They ain't a soul on this planet what thinks about their parents getting it in. Okay? And my mama about that. I know my mama gonna kill me for this if she watched this video. Because my mom does watch my channel. But I'm telling you right now, if there's any moment where you are listening to music and you want to change it, it reminds you of something you don't want to remember. I don't want to remember my parents getting it in. So when Knocking the Boots comes on, I got to change the song. I'll start to want to sing it, and then in a second it'll pop into my head. Nope, no, thank you, not doing it. But that was basically it. So H Town, you know what I'm saying? You had Dino, you had Shazam, you had GI. I'm telling you, man. And they those boy Dino and Shazam, those twins, they could sing their ass off. And I ain't talking about singing, I'm talking about singing. Okay. What's going on, David Villa? So hey, yeah, one more day. We do. We got one more day before the Super Bowl. But when you talk about R&B, let me explain something to you people. There's a difference between singing and singing. Okay, a lot of people malign Trick Daddy because he was talking about singing and singing, and of course, you know, he said Beyonce can't, she can sing, but she can't sing. I'm not gonna go that far. I don't need the beehive on my head telling me a goddamn thing. I've already been attacked by the beehive before. It's not fun. I'll tell you that right now. They attacked my black ass on Twitter, and believe you me, they went hard. Beyonce's fans protect her in every which way, which is why you never see her talking about anything that ever happens on social media because she has her friends to take care of it for her. But what I will say is, you got people who can sing, they can hold a note, and they look great, they dance very well, so they get by with just singing. Then you got them people that sing. Stevie Wonder can sing. Aretha Franklin can sing. Patti LaBelle can sing. Anita Baker can sing. You know what I'm saying? There are people out there that just they sang. And when you say, see, you got to understand the word sang and sing, and it's a black name. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. It's a black name. Period, point blank. When you sang it, you in here, you are touching my soul, my heart. The hair stands up on my arms. I get goosebumps. Every note takes me just into sheer bliss. But when you singing, I'm just happy. I just want to go with the beat. I want to rock. I want to bop to the left, to the right. I want to, what I'm saying, hit a little two step. That's what I'm doing. I just want to do that. But when you sing, bruh, you digging into the core of what R&B truthfully is and how it really works. And I can tell you, what I'm saying, like I have to say for a minute, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was a Trey Songz dude. Trey Songz was my guy. I was Trey Songz in the shower. Yep. Trey Songz was my motherfucking nigga. That dude, bruh. Neighbors know my name. Don't. No, I know he's nowhere to be found. I do believe he has a kid right now. And I don't know if he's really done any music lately. I haven't heard much from him. I haven't even heard much about him in general lately. But what I can tell you is that dude can sing. He had his moments. He was doing his thing. And there's guys that can do it. Like I'll say this, like the Dream. Dream is a fantastic writer, just flat out amazing writer. But he just singing. He ain't singing. Now I'll tell you this, that falsetto, he hit them notes and he hit them right. The Dream can write and he can produce like nobody's business. But he's a singer. He's not a singer. There's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Bruno Mars and Anderson Paak that make up the group Silk Sonic. Love Silk Sonic. Love everything they bring to the table. The reason that I love Silk Sonic is because they brought funk back. They literally merged funk and R&B, and it had a baby, and it birthed Silk Sonic. And the name was given to them by none other than the great Bootsy Collins from Parliament and Funkadelic. And I will tell you this: they have made some amazing music together. Anderson Paak sings. Bruno Mars sang. There's the difference. You got to understand it and know what it means because then it'll help you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Once in a while, you have groups where some people are along for the ride and they just don't do much and they're just there. They dance, they harmonize, they get their paycheck, they always in the background, they go on. You can't tell me that you could look at NSYNC and tell me there weren't a couple of guys along for the ride. You can't tell me you could look at Backstreet Boys and tell me that a few of those dudes went along for the ride. I'm just saying, this is how this works. And you always will put together, a 4 or 5 man group, even a 3 man group, sometimes even just a two-person group because they balance each other out. One does something the other one doesn't do. You know what I'm saying? But to be honest with you, when you're looking at these people and you look at these groups, Blackstreet, mm-hmm, 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 no diggity, no doubt. Teddy Riley, his production, unmatched. You want to know why Bobby Brown was so successful? You can thank Teddy Riley. His first album, his second album, I apologize, was produced by Teddy Riley. His first album was called King of the Stage. Big flop, horrible shit, trash. Bobby, brr, all those hits. You can thank Teddy Riley for that. Not saying that Bobby didn't do his part, but the sound, that New Jack Swing, that's all Teddy. That's all BA. Shout out to Virginia for giving us another fucking amazing producer. Because we have Pharrell, and that dude is awesome. You know what I'm saying? Blackstreet, just fantastic group, just great. There wasn't another group that was touching, what I'm saying, R&B like that. That's literally the case. So those are some of the groups, man, that just had a few guys that were along for the ride. And then some of these groups, I know I didn't get to anybody that might have possibly been along for the ride, but 90s R&B is a nostalgic moment because that type of R&B doesn't exist anymore. See, a lot of the times what you would hear from people in the 90s, as far as, what I'm saying, music was, oh, well, they don't talk about love no more. What you're talking about, the R&B in the 90s was all about love. It was about love in different ways. You know what I'm saying? And R&B, that the 90s was when R&B and hip hop merged. and that's when you saw that crossover. That's why you see that uh Mary J. Blige was queen of R&B and hip hop because she could blend. You know what I'm saying? All I Need with Method Man. Like when you watch that video, watch how grimy and gutter Meth looks. But she loved him. She was all, he was all she needed. He was all they needed. That's what it was. So it's just different things like that tell you, yo, this is for real. It's real love. They out there really doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? But that's me. I'm an 80's baby, but the 90's made me. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in the 80's. That was my years from, like 1 to 10. And then when the 90's came, that's my years from 10 to 20, so on and so forth. And usually you start to grow and become a person, at a very early age. They say usually by about 5, 6 years old, you are who you are. But the music that shaped me, the music that helped mold me, and some of the stuff that I listened to, as I was growing up, what I'm saying, a lot of it had to do with R&B. And I'm telling you right now, man, some of these songs, you just flat out amazing, amazing music. There was nobody better at doing what these guys did than the guys that did it. One of my favorite R&B group of all time has to be the Isley Brothers. Love them to death. Love their music. Love everything they had. Isley Brothers could have you over there slick, smooth, ready to knock your lady down, and then 5 minutes later they have you out there on the floor grooving with your lady, just getting it, get moving. They could do up tempo. They could do ballads. They could do love songs. They could tell you stories. They can make you want to get up in that bed and do some things, some serious things. You know, that's just why I love the Isley Brothers, and I know that Ron Isley did majority of the singing and the other guys were kind of there and they harmonized him and his brother and whatnot. But that's just my group. Isley Brothers is my favorite R&B group of all time. If I had to have an individual R&B guy of all time, it has to be, with no question or guess, Al Green. I love me some Al Green, man. Al could sing, man. Al could sing, boy. You know what I'm saying? That's me and my auntie's favorite. Shout out my auntie Jessica. Um, Al Green was the man for me, you know. But when it came to the 90's, I have to say my favorite group of all time in the 90's, as far as R&B, Jodeci. No question. Hands down. Forever My Lady, it's like a dream. I'm holding you close, keeping you warm. This is ecstasy. Like, bro, come on, bro. Just hit after hit after hit after hit. Like it just never stopped. And I can say majority of that is thanks to Devontae. A very large chunk of that is thanks to Devontae. Love Casey JoJo, love that one. But telling you right now, man, Devontae was the big catalyst behind that group and he did things and he made stuff happen. And I love every second of it, man. So this was just a quick little video. I'm gonna try to make sure I switch the content up here and there, give y'all a little bit different things, and what I'm saying, talk about different subjects, but mainly we're gonna stick to football when football season is in. And when it's not, we'll talk about draft, we'll talk about, what the Niners need to do. But this one, man, I had to get this out my system. I was just laying there with my lady talking about it, and I'm telling you right now, man, 90's R&B was the shit. And we had so many different groups. There were a lot of one hit wonders in the 90's. You know what I'm saying? Cats that would come out, they'd had that one hit, they just fucking peer, you know. And in the 90's, that's when you got the big budgets and you shot a music video and you did this and you did that. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, Charles, did you just say high five? He said high five. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, man. Like these groups, ABC, I'm just like, there's just so many different groups that were out there, man. The list goes on and on, but I appreciate y'all stopping in and hanging out with your boy, man, talking a little R&B to anybody that sees this video, watches this video. Please go in the comments. Tell me if who your favorite R&B group is. Saying who that group was in the 90's that just had you always bobbing your head and saying, yeah, this is my shit, and yeah, man. In the 90's, that was a time for me, man. That was where I grew up. That's where I honed, in on my skills as a man and grew into a man, what I'm saying, and had my OGs around me and all the people that, I knew and people that did things and helped me grow as a man, as a human being, But those songs and those times were just classics, man. And you don't hear that today. You don't hear R&B. And I'm gonna tell you right now, there not be a soul in my comment that mentioned Jacquees. I don't want to hear that name. He ain't worth shit. I'm sorry, that boy can't sing. No, 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 no. There are just some people that are in R&B game. It's like no. Why are you here? You only here because there's a void. And the only reason somebody's telling you that you possibly could have filled this because there ain't no other competition out there. Because when you do R&B, you got to be under the under the radar. Shout out to R&B Money Podcast. Shout out to Jay Valentine. Shout out Tank. They do a fantastic job over there. They interview everybody, man. They had my 2000s crush, Miss Carrie Hilson. Oh, Miss Carrie, baby. Oof, that woman. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Miss Carrie, baby. Love it. I'm just waiting for them to get Keisha Cole on there. That was my other girl. I love Keisha Cole. I remember when Keisha Cole first came out. A lot of people don't know Keisha's first song that she had for her first video was with Kanye West. A lot of people don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm gonna say this right now. We all know what R. Kelly has done. We all know who he is. We all find that horribly disgusting. You can't tell me R. Kelly wasn't a hit maker. I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't care what you say. Period. You cannot tell me that R. Kelly was not a hit maker. That motherfucker was an amazing songwriter. He look. I know it's hard to listen to the music because you think about what Kels did, and then you're like, man, I can't listen to this song because I don't know if he's talking about a grown woman or a little girl. But in those moments where we were not privy to this information, we were singing along with them songs. We loved every one of them. 12 Play is one of the greatest R&B albums ever. R. Kelly was a mastermind when it came to music. He made great music. He did some horrible things. But let me explain something to you people. This is not absolving him of any responsibility because what he did was horrible. He is paying for it and he should pay for it. There's a lot of other people out there that you don't know about that did some things just as horrible, if not worse, than him and made great music too. These things happen, unfortunately. I don't like them. I don't condone them in any way, shape, or form, but you cannot take away from the fact that Kells makes some damn good motherfucking music, period. It is what it is. We may not like what he did. We may not like the situation that he put himself in, but I can tell you right now that crazy motherfucker made some really good music. It is what it is. If you just go with his music and don't put it exactly, man, you say, if you go with his music and just don't go with his life, you'll be able to figure things out. But I'm telling you right now, he, the man was behind the whole B2K's whole first album. He wrote the whole fucking thing. Them little niggas wouldn't be stars if it wasn't for him. I'm just trying to tell you, man, sometimes you get people out there that do some really fucked up shit, but they still create something that is timeless. And it's hard. It's hard to deal with. But that's all I got for y'all right now, man. We're gonna come back with some more stuff, man. We're gonna even look at I'm gonna find some rap groups from the 90's and see if the dudes were along for the ride or if they really contributed or if they could rap. And if you take away Kelly, yeah, you have to take away all the songs he wrote. But let me explain something to you. I believe I can fly. Come on now. Come on. Once again, people, I in no way, shape, or form am I condoning anything that he did. I'm not saying that he was right in any way. I'm not saying what he did was okay in any way. But what I am going to tell you is R. Kelly made some damn music. He did. I'll give you another person. It's rumored that Elvis Crespo, the creator of one of the biggest hits in the fucking world, a song that gets played at every quinceanera on a consistent basis, at damn near every Mexican party you go to, Latin party you go to. Suavemente, besame. He was accused of touching kids. We don't like that. We don't condone that. That's not okay. It's not cool. Suavemente is a fucking smash. Can't do nothing with that. And then the 90's rap, oh, we definitely gonna do. Look, Let me tell you this. Mike got maligned for a bunch of shit, and I don't believe Mike did it. I'm sorry. I don't. I don't believe Mike did shit. Was it weird that it was a grown ass man that wanted to play with kids? Yes. Look at the society we live in today. We got motherfuckers walking around talking about their trees. We got kids in school talking about their cats and answering in a meow form. Mike was just a grown ass man who never really had a childhood and wanted to play with kids. Was it weird? Yeah. Do I think he really did anything to these children? Not. I think a lot of it was money. That's what it was. He's rich. We can go ahead and let our kid go with him, hang out with him for a bit. We know he's going to pay us because he wants to hang out. Then what are we going to do? We're going to turn around and we're going to sue him and say that he touched our child. We're going to coerce our child into saying something that probably never even happened, and we're going to get paid. And you know why I don't believe Mike did it? Because people closer to him told you he didn't. Macaulay Culkin hung out with Mike all the fucking time. Said that never happened. I'm just saying. So Mike was a beast with his music, and he was great. And God rest his soul. I love him to death. He was definitely a big inspiration to me. Greatest Mike song of all time is "Rock with You." I don't care what any of y'all say. Nobody can tell me different. Michael Jackson, "Rock with You." Bruh. Fun fact for you: I was born where Michael Jackson went when he got his head burned by the Pepsi commercial. Michael Jackson went to a little known place in Culver City called Brockman Medical Center. I was born there. So for me, that's like my little moment of nostalgia. I share a birthday with Stevie Wonder. Fantastic. So thank y'all for tuning in. Everybody stay up, stay blessed, stay faithful, and I'm out this joint. Peace.